Did you do it again? Did you do it again?
Well, you tell me.
Oh my goodness. I just went and parked the car. It was no, I got lucky. I found somebody who showed me the way in. Pro tip. See that sign? Trinidad parking? It's right there. 3 days, 20 euro. Best deal in this town. And it's walking distance to the metro station right there, which will take you anywhere in the city, and walking distance to where we're staying, which is directly up at the top of that hill right there on the left. So we've got the major part of this problem resolved. You don't want to drive in this city. You want to park and take mass transportation. It's too difficult to park and wind your way around. You get lost easy. Look at this. Nice big kitchen with a washing machine. Look at flat screen. Look at this terrace. Should we go right out here right to start with? Oh my goodness. Look what Jeannie did.
Nice place to relax out here, and it's nice and warm.
Very
You
nice.
can't see down at the street because of the overhang, but there's really not much to see down there.
Right.
Anyway.
I don't even know if this is, oh, this is the main street. I see that goes downhill. And we took a left to get to the front. I see. And let's see what else we have here. Lots of light. Wow, look at this bathroom. Very nice bathroom. And the bedroom. Air conditioner, king size bed. Good afternoon from the city of Porto.
Yeah, we're finally here.
We left Lisbon and it took us about 3 hours to get here with our new rental car. We took the highway and there wasn't really anything much to see, so we didn't do any recording.
Right. But we're here now for 4 nights in this beautiful city, and we hope to be showing you a lot of cool stuff over the next couple of days.
And once again, Jeannie put us in a perfect spot that's really close to many restaurants and cafes, supermarket, what else, the train station?
Metro station, yes, and it's in the old section, so a lot of walking streets. It's gonna be nice.
And we're gonna take you along as always. This is the lovely Liliana, and we met her this morning, and she actually mapped out a whole bunch of spots for us to walk to today. And she was of enormous help to us with sorting directions and as well. And thank you so much, and we'll see you on YouTube. So our very first impressions of Porto is it's a lot different than Lisbon, and it really gives you a much more older Portuguese feeling. approaching the Calico's Church. And if it's open, we'll take you through it. And we'll give you a little bit more information as we get closer. All right, let's cross the street and go in. It's obviously 12 o'clock. From here, we're going to take you across the street to the famous Bento train station. It's the main train station inside of Porto. And Jeannie and I are going to take you inside because of some very special things to see. We have entered the São Bento train station, which, as you can see with all these people, it's a very famous train station. It's the main transportation hub in Porto where all the high-speed trains come in, but that's not the real best part of it. This is. So this would be the equivalent of the Grand Central Station, and it is just fabulous. All these tiles, these are not paintings. They're actually
20,000 tiles.
Jeannie just pointed out there's 20,000 tiles here
dating back to 1905.
Forming these pictures. That side is being restored. And there's actually...
That's the craftsmanship back in that day. You know, each tile forms a whole mural.
Right.
So it's amazing how they had to make each tile and hand paint each tile into making an entire mural.
We'll give you a quick look at the high-speed trains that come in from all parts of Portugal. We were actually thinking about taking a high-speed train from Lisbon to Porto instead of renting a car, but the logistics of carrying our luggage, we weren't quite sure. We probably could have done it, and you probably could do it as well, but we just weren't quite sure about how easy it would be. There's all different classes too of these bullet trains. There's regular, there's business, so it could be quite comfortable. One last look before we go back outside. Our next destination is going to be right up this hill to the Church of São Francisco. Jeannie's going to give you a little bit more information as we get closer.
So this church was built in 1425. Very Gothic looking. And it's a formidable landmark that seems more like a fortress. So we'll go and take you inside. The interiors were redecorated in the 1500s.
Again, pretty spectacular tiles. And archways.
Okay, this was built in the highest point in the city. And it's considered the most religious building in Porto.
Not that we're religious, but we do love architecture.
The cathedral sits in the square with the columns in the middle, and that's where they used to hang the criminals.
As it should be. We're now inside what could be called the gallows. Really high ceiling. We'll just get by this Instagrammer and continue on.
I think this is the one.
We have entered the cloister. We're on the second floor now. We should get a couple of views, and I believe we can get up there as well. Okay, we're going to climb the stairs and get our €6 worth. We're going to cut it here and reshoot at the top. And here we are at the top. Here's a look at the famous bridge. We'll be looking at maybe crossing a little bit later. And we'll give you a little panoramic view of the rest of the city. not a bad climb. Any of these churches we bring it into, on your way down, you take a header, you're in trouble. So be very careful when you're walking. Again, the beautiful tiling. This is on the second floor, of course. Side, you come in here. This is where the Last Supper was served. And there you have it, the walkthrough. Jeannie found a nice little walkway that we can enjoy in the shade right now. To note, it is pretty cool in the mornings and evenings. In the daytime, when you're out in the sun, you can work up a nice sweat, so finding a little shady place like this in the middle of the day is pretty nice. We have reached the river. Unbeknownst to us, you can actually take some cable trams across as well.
Pode dizer só e mas atenção, não é pra gente trilhos urbanos, Galdino cantando. É linda Gaia, não é? Passou, comecei a lembrar de você.
One of the things we wanted to do was take a boat ride up the river or down the river. I have no idea what direction we're going, but it's a 50-minute ride and we are now on it. Most of the seats are taken out there, but it's really hot outside, so I imagine a lot of them will retreat. We chose to be on the inside.
For now.
For now. I can always run out there and shoot. And off we go.
It goes pretty fast.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Another spot.
That's the actual bridge that we crossed over when we came into Porto off of the highway. Not very significant, just a FYI. There's my co-captain. Here's another view of that outer wall. Now we're on our way back. So it just doesn't go very far up the river. Let you know if we got our 30 euros worth.
Gave you a seat.
This is where we started from, right there. Beautiful riverfront apartments. If you like this type of river cruise, they actually have some boats that have rooms, and you can take up to a 1 week cruise. So they take you out to the mouth of the river here, where the beach is, in the marina. Then they turn it around and bring you back the other way. And that's going to be your whole tour. head back in, we'll give you a little bit more footage of the riverside. The question is, do I take this up the hill? Or do I take stairs? Well, easy answer. You know us. We always take the stairs. And this is a lot of stairs. All right. You think it's done? Not by any means. This is just the beginning. This is what separates the travelers from the tourists. You think you're done? Not yet. You think you're done now? There's no more steps, but you're still gonna walk uphill. Our next stop. We have reached the Porto Cathedral, and it is indeed open, and we're going to take you inside. We'll see how much you have to charge to get in.
The last Gothic monument in Porto is this church, completed in 1425. The Porto Cathedral is the city's chief religious building. It is a formidable landmark that seems more like a fortress due to its dim hue of the exterior and grim towers.
And we're going to go inside and see how much it cost and what we get for our euros.
The interiors are redecorated like from the 1500s to the 1700s and has the most lavish woodwork it's supposed to. So we'll see, carved panels and...
Jeannie's already busy.
Busy looking at these wood carvings.
Wow. Let's whoa. Well, we're definitely going to get our 16 euro worth. This is all wood carving. Let me pull this out a bit. There's nobody in here, just our luck. I'm going to shut up so you can hear the hymning. everything you're seeing is all wood carvings. I think it's worth going down the sides. The carvings are so intricate. And we'll flip it around. This would be the second church off to the other side. Over here they're showing you the reconstruction, how it's done. We are now in the catacombs.
I wonder if they're buried in the floor too. They are, but they're numbered.
Yep. The catacombs are probably below. You lift one of these up and there's stairs, passageways down deeper.
Yeah, that's where they're buried. I think. See how they're all numbered?
Mm-hmm.
And the floor is down.
These catacombs go on for quite a while.
They look like they're dating back to the 1800s on the most part.
Mm-hmm. Trying to walk on the little cement part so we don't walk on top of the sacred people who are buried here. Also less noise.
How many decks we built?
All of them.
70 or
Mm-hmm. There's no guarantees.
we might be dead too.
We got right now.
Let's see how.
What you have here is a window to the bones. I don't know if this is going to pick it up or not, but that's what they're trying to show us here.
Not trying to, they are. I've never seen anything like that before.
Here again, I pointed it out in some other videos about the skull and crossbone, and I'm not quite sure why they put that there. But again, there it is.
On the top.
Yep, as Jeannie points out, there's skull and crossbones on top. Maybe one of you guys can chime in and leave a comment on what this is about, since we don't know.
Dead bodies.
This is definitely the most extensive catacombs I've ever been in.
Okay.
Supposedly, there's supposed to be a lot of catacombs in a lot of the old churches of New York City. They don't give any tours of that I'm aware of, but I've heard of them, but never seen them.
This is amazing.
We're now upstairs in the museum, and one of the first things I want to show you, this was used as transportation, used specifically or especially for ladies and the infirmed. That's how they transported them. Pretty cool.
They're the Prince and Grand Master for each half of the centuries.
We got a bunch of paintings of non-religious people. We're trying to figure out what that's about.
Prince and Grand Master.
Okay.
That's who they said. 88th Prince and Grand Master of Order. This guy is. Hey, you have a chair like that. Eve had a chair just like that.
Well, look at this room.
Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that's the end of the tour for this particular church.
My battery's low, dead.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
Beautiful. Definitely worth the 8 euros.
Like Jeannie just said, it's definitely worth the €8. Just as another little tidbit of information, if you want, instead of walking, you can certainly take any one of these hop on, hop off tour buses that take you all around the city, if that's your thing. We actually did it in Merida when we were in Mexico, and it was fun. But this town right here, you want to be able to walk even though there's a lot of hills. That's the way to get around. Getting lost is ideal. This is the famous Ruas del Floro street, and it was first made in, I believe, 1521. But as you can see, it's a very popular walking street. You know how much we love walking streets.